With the new Season 13 RP changes, everyone is at each other's throats. Since the new season is so sweaty and competitive with Preds and Gold lobbies, I got an idea. Take you guys with me on my journey to Masters this season. So without further ado, my name is AlphaDru and this is my ranked experience. Enjoy. Now, I know you're expecting me to show you only dubs, but that wasn't the case at all. We were met with adversity at every corner. But that's okay. You fall down to get back up, right? What? Alright. It's not always like that. But today especially was a pretty bad rank day, so when my friend Brian said to squad up, I did not hesitate to leave the solo queue life for a bit. After landing at cave, I came out with the flat landing car, and we decided to Valcolt out, where we were met with some charge rifle shots, and eventually we found ourselves inside Jurassic Park. Now, I know what you're thinking. Drew, why is your team rotating through Jurassic Park when it's notorious for having teams camp with charge rifles and triple takes, and not to mention, prowlers literally spawn there for the sole purpose of griefing your game? But trust me, this is where things start to get interesting. As Brian pings a team in front of us, we realize there's a team behind us, and things take a turn for the worse. But squatting up comes with confidence, and if I know one thing, it's if they push Brian, one of them is going down. Unfortunately, it was Brian. Brian went down, the team was pushing us. Were we gonna lose this fight? Was I gonna give away another 40 RP again? Nervous thoughts filled my head with anxiety as I realized one thing. The only way we walk out of this alive is to stand and fight. With Bloodhound down and Loba cracked, I seized the opportunity and popped the bat before realizing 3KP came running my way.
There you go. Fucking make him sucker.
What? After thirsting the caustic and the Bloodhound known as Monkey Butt B, soon after we found the Loba and sent her back to the lobby. Once looted up, we positioned ourselves for endgame and Valcolted on top of the water wheel. And this is when I realized there was still 8 squads left with not much real estate to share. Things were about to get hectic. Assessing the situation, what I knew was there was a team on the roof to the left of us, underneath us, and to the right of us. Conclusion? We're screwed. And it was at this moment, getting some shots in, that I realized our best chance of winning this game was to horizon queue on top of the team to the left, but this is where things go south for us. I cracked 2 with no way of getting on top of the roof. Our only option now was to drop and hope we don't get focused during the storm. Trying to think of a plan for the 3 of us, I turn to the left and I see our Valk push a 1v3. Plan for 3 becomes a plan for 2. With so little time left and the circle closing in on us, our only option was to drop down onto the team below us and hope we don't get focused by the other teams. I almost knocked Valk, Brian downs a rampart with the Sheila, and I crack Mirage, who pulls out a Mastiff.
No, I knocked one. Get behind me.
With both comrades down, my hopes of winning the game began to fade. But then I realized they weren't finishing us. We still had a chance. I just have to self-revive.
Oh no, there's another team on this side.
And then it hit me. I'm fighting so hard to live when I'm just living to die. Right then and there, it wasn't a matter about my hopes of winning fading away, because I knew there was no chance of winning now. Although it was a heartbreaking loss, I took my loss like the true competitor I am, and I looked on the bright side. It was our first game together, I still went positive, I moved up to Gold 1, and I'm still gonna have Brian for the next game. And just like that, we were queued up for our next game. And with Stormpoint changing the meta legend picks, I was very optimistic when I saw my teammate, who to this day still has a strong case of Ligma, pick Bangalore. With Ligma as Bangalore, Brian as Horizon, and myself as Bloodhound, the plan was simple. Land inside wall, loot up really quickly, so we can make our way over to the armory. But, as we all know, this is Apex Legends, and things rarely go according to plan. As we're about to land inside wall, we notice to our left, a team is going to be getting there first, and we're forced to loot down below, which isn't the worst position to be in because it's highly unlikely for them to drop on us right away, right? Wrong. As soon as I pick up my R9 and flatline, Bangalore signals a nearby threat and I pop a scan.
Hey Brian, we need you. One's almost cracked, one's cracked.
Down. Yeah, I'm gonna get the red.
He's jumping down,
Practicing in the firing range with the flatline made my aim immaculate, and now it was time to show off my R9 skills. Okay. Never ever bring that shit up again. It never happened. Period. Once we revived our teammate and the three of us healthy again, I thought about going to Armory, but I didn't realize the side effect of Ligma is not playing with your teammates until it was too late. Bangalore was in another fight.
You need to come back, bro.
With no way to provide assistance on time, we pleaded with Bangalore to fall back, knowing all too well what was about to happen. Heaven was about to gain an angel, and soon after, we would be the ones following. Thinking back on the losses I had that day had me fed up. I hate losing so much, and I just wanted to get back to winning. I needed it, and I was not going to let my frustration get the best of me, so I queued up again. This time, however, there was a twist. My teammate locked in Bloodhound before I could, so this game we went with Ash. As a true Bloodhound main though, you're always on your toes, and I didn't hesitate to ask for a scan when I heard the slightest movement. I was right, and I was ready for a battle.
She's cracked. Down.
Hit as fuck.
Bruh.
After thirsting the horizon, we had the opportunity to take a 3v2, so we chased them down the hill where we had the KP in our hands, but it was too late. They Valkyrie away and a new team started shooting at us. It's time for an Ashport.
Hey, come over here. I'm gonna.
You want.
What the f are you talking about?
I'm gonna port us out. Take my port.
Once we took the TP, our team was safe, and now our only real concern at the moment is positioning ourselves for the endgame. But as the storm started to close in, so did the other teams, and positioning was looking like it was going to be a problem.
That's fine, as long as they're not up here. Oh, sniper by the...
We need to figure out.
After having great positioning up top, we found ourselves confined to this small rock. This was bad. We went from having one concern to many. Back-to-back matches during the endgame, we found ourselves with only one option and opted to take cover under the cannon. But there was a problem. We had teams on both sides of us eyeing us like we were KP. This meant one thing. We had to show a strong presence, so I started shooting at anyone I saw. Every team took my shots as an invitation to focus us. My shield was broken, and soon after, Bloodhound was too. Fearing we would get spammed with nades, I called for a Horizon Q. And while I was in the air, I saw our next move. Luckily, we made it out alive, and it was time for another Ash TP.
Here, I'm gonna Q us to this wall.
Go. There's a team
With the wall protecting our backs, we could now focus on the teams in front of us. But don't think it was a walk in the park just yet. For every team we were shooting at, there was another team trying to light us up.
I'm going back to the
We were kind of pinned down.
There's a Valkyrie right here.
While reloading, I noticed bins that could give us cover to win the game, but we had to act fast as a team. As soon as I looked up, I had Bloodhound in my sights and I downed him. I popped the bat and then I heard the lifeline res. This was not good. With lifeline down and my teammates with good health, now was the time for us to full send if there ever was one. But this is third-party Legends, and Brian gets beamed on the side and our plans were foiled. And then I heard it. The sound of someone rezzing the lifeline. And worst of all, nobody could do anything about it. After popping the Phoenix, I tried to give my boys some cover fire, but it was all in vain. The third-party Loba downed our Bloodhound, and then downed Brian right after. I was left to 1v3. Have you ever tried to be serious, but you had that one friend not letting you concentrate?
What an idiot! What an idiot! Oh, idiot! What an idiot! What an idiot! Two.
Regardless of what distractions are present, a true champion never loses sight of his goal. I'm bringing it home for the boys, baby! No! I came so close. Could I have done something different? Were any of my decisions the cause for our loss? I will never know. All that was certain was, I didn't get my team on top. And there's nothing I can do to change that. With those two tough losses, God only knows why I continued to play Apex. Was it because I love pain, or because I love the competition? It's probably both. And I know, when clicking on this video, you probably expected me to show you some epic tale of victories, but as I said before, it was a real struggle this season to get some dubs. After all the drama, we found ourselves here, in the final circle. Us versus them. But to know how I got here is to know my journey. And this is how it started. A solo queue, with Gibby and Rampart as my teammates.
I'll be getting pushed.
Off rip, I landed on a car, and if there's anything new I picked up from this season, it's I need to start sniping more often.
Downed him.
With one down, we rushed in to finish the job. And just like that, we had our first squad wiped down. After rotating across the whole map without any action, it appeared we were about to get pinched. But luckily, we were next to a cannon and quickly rotated out safely. Or so we thought. Once we landed, we licked our wounds and we were faced with our next problem that needed immediate attention. We were being focused once again. With arrows and longbow shots connecting on us, it was looking like one of us was going to be going down, because Gibby had already used his bubble, and we still had to run out in the open. Luckily though, we made it to safety. To this day, I still think the only reason why we didn't go down was because my guardian angel Ligma was watching over us, as we rotated into the storm, into the next building. We couldn't have moved into a better building. It was uncontested, and there was a Loba ult inside of it. As I picked up the flatline, a problem arose. Gibby was getting shot at, and as I went to back him up, I saw a crazy Rampart and her Sheila. I had to retreat, but this only meant one thing. A push was sure to happen.
No, give me.
With the immediate threat taken care of, I hopped on rezzing our Rampart, and we were left with 4 squads left. The information we had available was a team above us, in front of us, and to the left of us. And all we had to do was play the long game and not throw it. But would my teammates recognize that? Thankfully they did, and all we had to do was just watch the teams come to us. Mayhem was about to erupt. squads left, no Gibby bubble, a team on top and on the side of us. I could stand there in a pool of anxiety thinking about whether my destiny would have the same outcome as the previous games, but what good would that do for us? No, now was not the time to freeze up. It was time to frag out. Finally, after being crowned the Apex champion, we could look back on our journey for what it was. As brutal as it may have been, it was always about pushing ourselves to become better players and better teammates. We experienced tough losses, and we even had a teammate die to Ligma, but we accomplished what we set out to do, to get a dub in this crazy ranked season. Well guys, like the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. I know I said this was going to be a journey to Masters, but life happened and school started a lot sooner than expected, and I was unable to edit any videos or even play for a month straight. Hopefully this next season though, I'll be able to get more games in and edit more because I really enjoyed the editing process, as difficult as it may have been. And since this was my first time ever editing a video, I want to take a moment to thank the following people for their valuable input. Without you and your input, this project wouldn't be half as good. With that said, I hope I left you guys satisfied with the story. Until next time, later guys.